Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the next installment of Santa Rosa Week. You found us on Channel 27 Mediacom. We'll be here every Saturday from 4:30 until 5. My name's Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
And we're here to bring you hopefully another exciting and entertaining week. We've got a little follow-up this week, but Deborah, I just have to start out. We discussed the Harold Downey and the 5 Points property.
This is property that the county took through eminent domain,
right.
And now they're paying a whole lot of money to Mr. Downey to make up for the damages.
Yeah, the massive damages that he has had, and so
let's do a recap.
That's right. We want to do a recap.
Of course, Mr. Downey has these. It's actually 3 parcels according to the property appraiser's website, but the county's called them parcels A and B here on their map, and you can see that the roadway is going to run right through the middle of those parcels. And Mr. Downey bought these properties between January of 2004 and August of 2005, and he paid about $750,000 for the whole
for all 3 pieces.
Yes, right.
And that's on the west side of Shamuckle Highway,
right,
where the continuance of Berry Hill will go.
Correct. And the county, of course, took a little strip that went through there. You can see it on the county map.
And that was the eminent domain issue.
And they paid $775,000 just for that strip, not for the whole 3 parcels, but just for
enough right away.
Right. They paid $775,000. Mr. Downey said that wasn't enough, that there were damages to the what they're calling A and B there. There were additional damages that are going to result from a road going through the middle of a major roadway going through the middle of his property is going to I guess damage his. Well,
and I think as our viewers look at this map, when you look at commercial property, road frontage is what cranks a commercial piece of property. And we've done Mr. Downey all kind of favors here. We've put a road on.
Now this is just our opinion. He thinks differently.
Well, that's right. It is my opinion. It's
right.
Also the opinion of I'd say the people at the property appraiser's office too, because I got in a discussion about how do you figure commercial rates. Mm-hmm. And on a corner piece of property that had road footage on each side, it's $1,000 a foot. No matter how big the piece of property is or how small, it's $1,000 a foot.
Well, he thinks he was damaged. He thinks $775,000 was too little. He wanted $1.4 million for that strip now, and plus the damages is what we're talking about.
Right. So we paid him $775,000 up front,
right?
And now he has asked for an additional $600,000 or $600,000.
$600,000, and they caved in and agreed to pay that at the last county commission meeting. Now he's also going to throw in a third property that they're calling it Property C during these discussions,
which you can see on the map here.
Right, and he bought that in August of 2006 for $115,000, and apparently the county's going to need a little stripway along the front somewhere.
And I just want to say again, we started talking about this in 2003. We hired somebody
right.
to study it in 2004.
Right.
We came to a conclusion in 2005, 2006.
Right. And it's damaging Mr. Downey. So they're going to go ahead and pay him that extra $600,000 on top of the $775,000 they paid. Now again, just for that strip going through. They decided this a couple weeks ago.
And you know what I find funny about this is, I believed, listening to the commissioners at that Monday county commission meeting, that there was a strong effort to continue negotiations. I mean, I was actually sold on that they would probably sit down and have another conversation about it.
Instead, they caved in and they're going to pay him $600,000.
Well, it's
above and beyond the $700,000 they've already paid him. For a piece of the property.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing you have to notice, the world is a stage. And county commission meetings a lot of times are just kind of staged for your benefit. There was a real, I think we need to look at negotiation. We need to relook at that, and are we sure? And there was all kind of doubts expressed, and absolutely we should we've got to make sure that the taxpayers get their fair share. And then we go from Monday to Thursday, cave in, Give him what he wants. No evidence of any conversation with Mr. Downey. You know, just hand it to him.
Well, two of the commissioners were not happy about it.
Commissioner Gooden.
I'd be opposed because if this 1.3 million is what we end up having to pay him, then you're telling me that that house is worth 600,000, and I don't think that house is worth 600,000. I'd rather have an appraisal back me up on it.
Response, Mr. Dunn.
Well, Mr. Chairman, in my memo, and you don't know right now, I'd estimated the value to us of getting that front portion of parcel C at about $75,000, recognizing that the inherent value of that parcel is less, but you would definitely have damages to the remainder that we'd have to consider also. So
$600,000 worth?
no.
I don't think so either. I mean, it's $75,000 for the piece we need, and I don't believe that they're going to give us another $525,000 for the house.
Right.
I don't think there's any court in the land that's going to say you need to pay these people $525,000 for this house at this intersection.
The main risk isn't parcel C just puts the deal within the reasonable range. The main risk, of course, is if a jury completely agrees with their appraisal. That is the worst case scenario.
And at this point on item C, we don't have anybody's appraisal except Mr. Downey's.
We don't have any appraisal on parcel C.
And we just have an offer from Mr. Downey that says, I think it's worth $600,000.
But no, he doesn't say that.
But for $600,000 more, he would settle. And counter by saying that Mr. Downey's the one that made this offer. And typically in negotiations, whoever mentions money first loses. We don't know what his price is, and I don't think we need to be taking his first offer. And the fact that we are in a down real estate market and a down time in development, we're not collecting a lot of franchise fee right now. And this project, without the franchise fee, some better projection of revenue coming to the county in the way of impact fees, this project's not going to move as fast as we thought it was. I think time might be on our side, and it'd be worth making a counter offer or tell him that we need an appraisal before we take this next step. I think that if we take his first offer, we have blinked, and we will never know what we could have saved and how much money we have left on the table.
Mr. Cole.
There, my concern is also still the parcel that we haven't even addressed yet. And if we take first offers or go with this, and it's a high reasonable offer is what I've heard from the county attorney, not reasonable, but high reasonable. We still haven't addressed a piece of property between parcel A and B and C, which is going to tell those people, well, we could go for the highest price we could ask for, but Santa Rosa County is going to roll over and give it to us. And I think we've got a good, solid case for this as far as the economics of the times, and a county attorney that I feel can do a diligent job at defending this county's stand on the price. And everything else I've heard from Commissioner Gooden, I just would be repeating. So,
Deborah, once again, I could not agree more with our Commissioner Gooden. Certainly a man that understands business, understands big dollar values, and he makes the exact same points that we made in a previous show considering purchasing of land around Whiting Field. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's what the market will bear. The value of things are going down. We don't have to do this today. We could just say, never mind. We thought about it, but we've changed our mind.
Then again, it's somebody else's money.
Well, yeah, it's real easy when you're a commissioner and you're spending somebody else's money. There's no pain at your pocket.